Thank you for listening. This is Being a Musician. My name is Flint Blade, and with me today is Mike Mineo. Thanks for being here, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Flint.
Mike Mineo is an old friend of mine from the South Florida music scene who has always been an inspiration. I'm a fan of his music, and it's been great to watch you just take your music.
Watch me blossom.
You've taken it far, man. You've moved out to Nashville. You've done a lot of amazing shows that I've seen and heard of. You were on American Idol. And
Smoke and mirrors.
And it seems like you're doing really well out in Nashville and you're touring all over the place. So thanks again for being here. And you want to kick us off with the song?
Yeah, my old friend. I'll play My Old Friend for my old friend Flint here.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah, all right, dude. Hello, my old friend. How long has it been since we were face to face just talking? Face to face just talking. I can't remember, but there's something in your eyes that has broken. Is this world killing you as it is me? As it is me, as it is me. You're not alone. You're not alone when your cracks start to show. Hello, my old friend. Catch me if you can. I am running round in circles, running round in circles. It's just a play from words written by illiterate souls. Did they make you think what you felt was wrong? Well, they may be wrong when it was right for you. It was right for you. Not alone. You're not alone in this sea of flying stones. Hello, my old friend. Come and take my hand till we remember all the simple things. Remember all the simple things. You're not alone. You're not alone when your cracks start to show. Hello, my old friend. Hello, my old friend. Hello, my old friend. Hello, my old friend.
All right, that was beautiful, man.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, thank you. So that's as of yet unreleased song.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite songs of yours, man. I feel like ever since I heard that one, it just, you are not alone. It's a very comforting lyric.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the whole sort of vibe of the song I feel is very simple. You know, just kind of the main motif here, just going from the G to the C. It's just kind of, I always liked the way that sounded. I told my friend once, I was like, I love that sound. It's just like my favorite sound. He's like, yeah, you and a lot of other people. I was like, whatever, bro. I don't care if it's typical, but I don't know, it sounds, to me, it just sounds, it sounds like wondrous, but also calming and kind of relaxed, easy, and simple at the same time. But yeah.
Is there a story behind that song? Was it for anyone in particular?
Man, that's the thing. That song hasn't been recorded, but
till now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There you go. It was recorded now. Bootlegs. Everybody get Joe's. I wrote that song a while ago, and I think it might have been about someone specifically, but I remember trying to write it, kind of trying to apply to the aging and the growing apart of time and stuff, like of friends, and just something that could apply beyond that one person. But I can't remember who it was for. They're probably doing better now, or maybe they're dead. I don't really know. Whoops.
Well, it's a classic, man, and I feel like it's definitely a universal message that a lot of people can probably relate to.
Cool. Yeah, I feel it still feels comforting even when I play it. It feels nice.
Cool. So the title of the podcast, Being a Musician, we're going to talk about, what it's like to be a musician. And the first question that I want to ask you is, what does music mean to you?
What does music mean to me? A paycheck.
It's got to be more than that.
That's it. I'm only in it for the money. No. God knows that's not true. Man, music started for me when, I played like, high school band and stuff, but my mom pretty much forced me to do that. What did she say? Oh, right. I did something bad. I don't know. My mom did not approve when I was in middle school, and she's like, you're either grounded for a month or you join middle school band. And I was like, I'll join band, okay. And so I joined band and I started playing trumpet. And it was cool because I got to read music and kind of learn it as a language, get to read it and write it and understand it in that aspect of it first, instead of just, picking up a guitar and just kind of feeling it out. So I got that formal sort of education of music first, but I hated it. Like, I just couldn't wait till I could just stop. Probably partly because my mom made me do it, especially in middle school. You're just like, oh, my parents suck. They're not cool, even if you have like the best parents ever. But, so when it first started, it was very scholastic, and I felt like a nerd for doing it, and I didn't have a genuine connection. Then I started playing bass guitar, and I just had gravitated towards that. It just came really naturally to me. And I remember I started playing bass in my brother's band, like Sublime rock type style band, 2 weeks after I started playing bass. And so I just felt like, I was making progress. It was something that I just had a passion for, and I really wanted to get really good at it. And then one day I just picked up the guitar from a class. I just kind of grabbed it, took an nylon string home. I wasn't supposed to, but I grabbed that and just started kind of feeling out different, more like open chords like that. Kind of just kind of experimented with putting my fingers down in like really open ways, and just using my ear to develop chords. And I really fell in love with doing that. And then something in my family happened where my brother and our father got into a fight, and it got physical, and it just really messed me up, and it was a huge emotional thing. And I just went right to the guitar and just wrote a song. Boom, popped right out. Huh. And ever since then, music for me has meant a catharsis. It's always been something where it's it's like my journal, my little tumble like of emotion and things that have happened, and it just kind of spits out a song to help me kind of, even if it's not fully understand a situation or my emotions involving that situation, it's a catharsis of it, like a shedding of it, like,
Yeah.
and it's interesting because when I look back too on songs, it's like it's like a photo album of pure emotion. Like right when I play a song from when I was 16, it literally puts me exactly where I was feeling when I wrote that song. It's pretty incredible. So for me personally, in my creation of music, it's like music to me is a catharsis and a closure sort of thing in writing songs. I would say jamming and things like that of improv nature are more of a meditation. But the writing process for me is like a journal entry, that kind of sheds lights on things that needed to be dealt with and digested. But that's, other forms of music. I mean, to me is cultural expressions, societal expressions. You see, like, a lot of rebellions come up centered around amazing songs.
Sure.
Or you, hear more African worldly beats and you can just feel their culture, their dancing, the way they dress, their rhythm. It's a full-on expression.
Like the Village People YMCA.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude. YMCA,
and everybody knows the dance moves.
Yeah. That's a little bit. That's some money right there, boy.
No, that's great, man. So you mentioned that music for you can be like a journal entry, but at the same time, I gather that a lot of your songs are they might have a personal aspect, but they're not directly, expressing like something that you're going through. They might be more something out of your imagination. Is that right?
Oh yeah, there's definitely imaginative things. So, I went immediately for like kind of more the heartfelt thing, that is prominent in a lot of my writing. But oh yeah, I mean there's so many aspects to it. Some
Sure.
I just want to make something like stupid silly.
I've seen that side of you. Yeah.
You can't deny any side,
So it's you're obviously very dedicated to music. I would consider you a prolific songwriter.
You would.
I mean,
you haven't seen me the last 2 weeks.
Well, since I've known you over the course of 10 plus years, you've probably written at least 100 or more songs in that time. Maybe even 200. Have you counted your songs, all your songs you've ever written?
I don't count. It seems real corny, but it was like, 323. But no, just kidding. I don't count. I don't count, man. There was this guy once, I forget his name, and like my ex-girlfriend was hanging out with this dude. He's a songwriter, and he was like, I write this many songs. He's like, how many songs does Mike write? Like, she asked him that. I was like, dude, what? What is this? Some sort? And it was like a competitive thing. I don't count my songs, man. Fuck that.
That's
Fuck
fair.
That shit.
That's fair enough, man. We're gonna edit out the cuss words. Don't
What?
worry.
Why? I can't cuss on here.
I didn't say you couldn't.
This is CBS, not HBO.
I'm just gonna put some like funny sound effect over it.
Oh, like that. Like bleh, bleh. Here it is. Here's your sound effect for it. That was a good one.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. So either way, man, we don't have to count your songs, but I would say you write songs often enough. I would call it prolific. You've released several albums of all original material, which is certainly an accomplishment, and they're high quality releases.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
I guess I'm gonna ask you, when did music become something more of a profession for you? How did it go from being like a hobby, something that you do for yourself, to something that's actually making a living for you?
Well, I mean, I guess it just comes down to being sick of being broke. Man, I was I was an infamous couch crasher. like 19, like around that age, and like, and it just, I started gigging out, and then just, based off that, being in higher demand and getting out there, and just kind of working my way up on the professional tip. And it's a constant balance, though, man.
Sure.
You do gigs that aren't necessarily your dream gig, but they pay well, and but you got to balance that. You got to put on your big boy pants and grow up. But for me, especially like in the South Florida area, the making the money part wasn't the hardest. The hardest part is keeping your passion true, and your voice through your craft honest. Because there's so many, it seems like everywhere you turn around in this world, it's looking, it's asking you to freaking sell your soul in one way or another, buy into a lie.
Right. And I would, you mentioned there's some gigs that aren't like your dream gig. I would kind of imagine that to be, maybe a hotel gig where you're playing for the hotel bar and people aren't really there specifically to support the music. They might just be there to have a drink.
They're on vacation.
And you might just be background music.
They want Jimmy Buffett
in that case. And and I'm sure you have plenty of shows where you have lots of dedicated fans that are there to like really support you and get into the music.
Yeah.
But even with those gigs where maybe you're more of a background music setting, how do you engage with that and be authentic with that kind of scenario and make the best of it?
Well, I feel like it's honestly, those gigs really helped me. Like, I really cut my teeth on those gigs as far as focusing more on vocal technique, because I was always self-taught and I always had a natural ability to sing. And like, ever since I was a kid, people were like, "Oh, you're a natural," But being a natural, you usually don't get the proper training. So then I started getting, different tips and voices in my ear from people that might have been trained a certain way or this or that. So I usually take those times to kind of focus on honing in on, tone control, breath support, different things like that. See how hard I can push my voice without doing as much damage as I usually would. Looping, setting a loop and just taking solos over it. I didn't usually used to solo. I mean, I still wouldn't. I've got friends that are just ridiculous lead players, but I mean, now it's something that I can do, and I can look, and I know where I am wherever I am on the neck now, because I would loop at those gigs because I'm like, these people are just chilling anyways. I'm gonna do a loop and take a 5-minute solo,
there you go.
And like, they seem to appreciate it just the same. And it, there's so many things that was good for, but
So you were able to use those opportunities to just kind of hone your craft and
and get paid well for it,
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Okay, so maybe the next question can lead into the next song you're gonna play for us. I want to ask you about your spiritual relationship with music. How is it a spiritual thing for you? Is there anything spiritual about music for you?
Yes. As far as, well, for one, I feel like creating a song is, in a way, manifesting something from thin air, from your emotion or from thoughts. I mean, that in itself is kind of a meditation, and kind of leads more to this, I guess, quote, spiritual self. But I mean, that's a tough question.
Okay.
It's hard for me to define spirit these days.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, you would probably consider yourself to be a spiritual person in some regard. right?
I believe that there's definitely unification of energy. I fully believe that everything came from one, and I think that like in that understanding, we are all connected. It's amazing, dude, that trees have the same double helix DNA as human beings. Every living organism on this planet all has. I mean, I mean, for me, spiritual being for me it feels a little wishy-washy sometimes. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Like,
so you see
it feels a little too new agey for me. I feel like it comes down to more science for me.
Okay.
But like, and for me, God is more of a scientific understanding.
All right.
You know what I mean? Just to see the complexity and how everything's literally like molecularly connected is mind-blowing enough for me. And I guess it does feel what most people would say is spiritual, that sort of understanding and breakdown of our existence when you think about it gives me that same feeling of spirituality, I think.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, well, so the other day you posted a video of a song from your first official release. It's called Waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And you kind of gave an introduction, about the connectedness of all time, and
it's crazy.
To me, it came off as kind of a spiritual connection.
Yeah. Exactly. See, so that can be interpreted as that. Once again, I really do feel like my understanding of it was more along the lines of how I just described it.
Yeah.
It just feels more like definitive for me to describe it as that instead of just saying spiritual. But I could definitely see how it's a spiritual type subject for a lot of people. Yeah,
you want to tell us about your experience you had with the song?
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, the last like 2 weeks, as I said, it's been difficult. Just creatively, I haven't felt very inspired when I pick up the guitar. It's just like and it kind of gets you. Just regular human shit, like where you get in your mood swings, and I was on the lower end of the swing where I was more prone to sort of like negative thought patterns and stuff, and my friend Bella out of nowhere texted me. She was just like, hey, I haven't gotten a text or anything from her in years, and she was like, hey, your song just popped into my head, and I just randomly started singing it. I was like, oh cool, what song? And it took her a minute to get back to me, but I was watching this documentary on the string theory, and it was just in multiverse and all that stuff. And they were talking about how, there's multiple universes happening, and they were quantitating it to all these big numbers and all this stuff. And for I just had this thought pop into my head, thinking, wow, I feel like we might all have that totally wrong in the aspect of trying to blow things up to this grandiose and like try to count up to that when it's actually all just right here, right now, and it's actually comes together as one, and all these universes, like instead of feeling like 1980 is happening somewhere right there, or whatever, Jesus is born right now, or then it's all literally happening right now, and we can't access that right now just based on the physics and the world we're wrapped up in, but it is all happening right now. And then I got the text from her right when I had this realization or thought, and and she said, oh, it was Waiting, your song Waiting. And I was like, holy crap, that's crazy, because that song was written at least 10 years or 11 years before this moment. And I picked up the guitar and started playing it, and it literally, all the lyrics in it were like speaking to me in my last 2-week funk, where I was just feeling like, I was wasting my time or this or that or all these negative things. And this song is called Waiting, and it's literally about when you feel like you're waiting and nothing's happening, but there's actually a ton of things happening all around you, all at once. You just have to kind of open up your eyes to it. And it blew my mind that in that moment where I was like, no, it's all one, everything's happening right now, I literally 10 years ago wrote a song for myself in that moment that helped me and spoke to me, and it came through Bella randomly. And God knows where that song came from when it came through me when I originally wrote it. So it's just like, what is this force, what is this energy that's just, it just popped. It was crazy to see that, diminishment of time in that moment where it was just like, no, like, here it is. Right when I had that it was just all like click, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So that song is called Waiting. Yeah, it's off my first album, Eccentricity. I'll play it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. While you are waiting, whoops, the sun rose up as the morning birds sing. There were a couple responses to a million dreams. While you were waiting for the vision that you had in mind, options came, but still you remain blind. Don't let your vanity trick you into thinking you know what's best for yourself. Your vision is myopic as you're living in a world of depth, and it all ends while you are waiting. You've got ideas and vast creativity, learning to accept uncertainty as a beautiful thing. While you are waiting, you've got ideas and vast creativity. Don't let your wishful thinking towards the future put it off. Do it now. Today is the day to let it all come out, for soon comes tomorrow. While you are waiting, while you are waiting, oh, 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 while you are waiting, while you are waiting.
All right.
Yeah. Whoops. Forgot to silence the phone.
Great song, man.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, so it was just crazy to have that, play that song. I hadn't even played the song in a few years, and I'd written it 11 years ago. So that was 12 years ago. So that was just something, a nice reminder, to snap out of it. Keep moving forward. You never know how what you're doing right now will impact whatever time or whatever place. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I caught some of the lyrics of that, now is the time,
Yeah.
do it now. So that's kind of what the song is about, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Making the
song,
most of every moment.
Yeah. Yep, the song's about, realizing that you're not just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things are in motion. You're making moves, and the world's making moves right now, and
Gotta strike while the iron's hot, right?
That's right, man. And and also there's a lyric in there where it says, don't let your vanity trick you into thinking you know what's best for yourself. So at the same time, it's like trusting in that great energy, pool of energy, or whatever you take from that. But it's definitely about a force, a bigger force, I feel like, that we're all unified with. Kind of tuning into that and not just feeling like you're waiting. You're actually a part of this whole thing. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, I remember one time you made a Facebook post about something like, maybe somebody had told you like, oh, I hope you make it one day or something like that, and you kind of you wanted to make the point that we're making it right now. We're all making it. We're making reality. It's like up to you to like just actually realize it and engage with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So that song was off your first official release, Eccentricities. And I'm probably one of the few people who has some of your earlier material, like maybe kind of a home recording from the early days.
Like before Eccentricity.
Right, before Eccentricities. And if I recall, did you revisit one of those songs recently? One of those early songs? I think when I saw you play at CWS, you had played a song from the old days.
What song would that be?
I'm trying to remember what it was.
From the old days.
Maybe it was actually from Eccentricities. I remember hearing a really early song that you hadn't played in a while.
Huh. Man, I'm not gonna remember.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so since Eccentricities, I'm gonna just trace your discography a little bit since then. I think your next one after that was Beach Season.
Yeah.
Right? And that was kind of reflecting on South Florida life.
Yeah, giving a little love back to the beaches.
Loving the beach vibe. And
yeah.
You released that one on vinyl as well.
Yep.
Still got some vinyls out?
I got some vinyls out.
All right, cool. Me too. Let's trade.
All right. Yeah. Please.
And your next one after that was Big Big Star.
Big Big Star, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Definitely, I might even have to, if I was to pick a favorite, that might be my favorite album of yours.
Really?
Big Big Star.
I think the last one was mine, one.
Yeah, so
but
one.
Big Big Star's still great. Yeah, that's definitely up there.
And I think, if I recall, Big Big Star was all recorded in your home studio. Yeah,
so pretty much, that album took place because I wanted to learn how to use a DAW program.
Right. DAW, Digital Audio Workstation.
That's
which
correct.
I'm going to guess was Logic Pro.
Breaking it down for them. Yep, I did use Logic.
Okay.
And, I just kind of wanted to learn how to do that, so I started producing this all on my own and kind of using sampled drums and different things like that for the first time. And I had a lot of fun with it, man. It was the first time I literally just sat down by myself. Well, that's not true. I made an album that never really came out that I recorded on like a little one of those portable ones that used to burn to a CD.
Yeah.
Like a Yamaha or something like that. But I kind of self-produced and did everything on one of those ones. So that was like my first experience. But I wanted to jump into one that's actually in the computer and that's notable and that a lot of people use. And So I kind of used that album just to kind of get the reins and get my bearings using one of those programs, and I was happy with the way a lot of those songs on that album came out.
Cool.
Yeah.
So your first two albums were recorded in professional studio settings.
Yeah. Well, see, Brent, Brent Williams, my buddy slash producer of Beach Season and mostly Eccentricity, the first album, we recorded in his home studio. He went to Full Sail in Orlando, so he was an engineer. He had a bunch of microphones and a bunch of stuff. We soundproofed up a room, and
Yeah.
actually that album took place in like 3 different houses, but all houses that we lived in. But yeah.
And from what I would gather, like even for being a home studio, the equipment you were using was pretty high end.
Yeah. Brent ran like Pro Tools. He had a few different preamps, all the Universal Audio stuff before they even blew up like they have. But he
Okay.
had all that Universal Audio plugins and all that, um, and just a bunch of great mics. And it was we just kind of went to town.
Right.
I played drums on a couple songs in that album and stuff. So we just kind of had a field day with it. But yeah, so that was done there, and then the second album was done in Power Station Studios in Pompano Beach, and we overdubbed and stuff at home studios. But yeah, then Big Star was fully done at my home studio.
Yeah. So what was different for you about recording in a studio where someone else is pushing record and doing it yourself?
Well, you get to learn a lot more. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's really cool. The amazing part to that kind of production is you're only limited to your own mindset or production or creativity. You can do anything. I mean, there's samples out there nowadays. It's incredible what you can find and build from royalty-free music. The down part is a lot of the times I didn't have ideas to bounce off from other people, and I wasn't a seasoned engineer or anything like that. And I engineered that album. I think no, I didn't master that album, but
I think you maybe sent it to South America, South Africa.
Oh yeah,
For mastering.
Yeah. It was the guy that mastered. I think you freaky and I like you a lot. D'Antwoord.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the same guy that mastered D'Antwoord.
How did you make the connection with this guy who's mastered?
Brent found him.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy, but Brent told him, "Hey, we got this album. It's 12 songs. How much is it to master these songs?" And the guy said $35 per song.
Sounds reasonable.
That's crazy. Like, dude, here, try to get someone to master your songs for under $100. I mean, honestly, a lot of the guys that have a name here charge like $250 or something crazy, per song. So we were like, all right, cool. It sounded, we got him back. It sounded great, but yeah. So I mean, as far as the difference between going into a studio and doing that, I mean, a studio will have so much more equipment. You are limited as far as that's concerned, though.
And you probably borrowed some equipment for your home solo recording for Big Star.
No, I kind of just went out and bought stuff as I needed it. I mean, it wasn't top of the line stuff. I was actually using that right there, that Sapphire Pro, the 8-channel Sapphire Pro for most of it. Actually, for the song Bellow, I used an H4n. I plugged it into the computer and just used the inputs off that. That was my interface, an H4n.
Wow.
Plugged into the computer for everything on Bellow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'd listen back and I'm like, that's crazy. I still can't believe it. And that's one of my favorite songs on that album, honestly. But yeah. I mean, you're not paying anybody, so you're not stressed out about time. It's not forced. You can relax.
Right.
You can let stuff kind of season and give it some time and then come back to it. And, there's not this stress that you're paying for time.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I mean, I would encourage a lot of people to just go build their own home studio, because then instead of putting money into studio time, you're putting money into owning equipment and learning how to use it. It's like a win-win-win. I'm like that with everything. I'm like, I don't if I have to pay for something, I'd rather buy the equipment and learn how to do it, even if it, whatever it is.
Okay. So your first two albums, extensive collaboration, band feel, right? Many different musicians were on your first two albums. And then your third album.
No, the first album, actually. Beach Season, the second album, just had Bill Muter on bass and Darren Scott on drums. Lori Button on vocals, and also Kat Yarbrough on vocals. Right. Backing vocals. That was pretty much it for the second album. Yeah.
So Beach Season was a very definitive band.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole album. First album had different collaborations, song to song.
Yeah, there were so many people on that album.
And then Big Big Star, was that all instruments by Mineo?
No. There were some drums there by Kyle Hess. He goes by Kyle Smile. Yep. He's a great artist. Yeah, out of West Palm. I love his art.
I like his visual, his videos that I've seen
videos
from him.
Too. Yeah, he's
and
great.
He did a video or two for you as well.
Yeah, he shot him back in the day where we were doing the Trio Strong with Bill Muter and Darren Scott.
And so he played drums on Big Big Star for, is that what he said, for a song or two?
Yeah, he played some drums. Devin Heinrichs of the Resolvers played some sax on that album.
Bellow.
On Bellow.
Right, okay.
And Without. What else? Yeah, I'm probably missing some musicians, but it's been a minute. But yeah, there were a few people, but for the most part, they were the sprinkles.
Yeah.
Little sprinkles.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I know on the opening track of Big Big Star, the song Lucid, you had a rap verse by Juice Lee. Right?
Yeah, Juice Lee was on there. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you specifically about that. Was that lyrics that you wrote and he rapped?
No.
He came up with lyrics for that.
Yeah, that's Juice Lee.
Cool.
Doing his thing. Juice Lee's cool. An awesome hip hop artist. He does also comic book, comic rap. It's really cool. He's a really creative guy, really fun guy. I met him in Orlando a long time ago, and we did a collaboration. You can see it's called Set You Free, and it's actually on YouTube. It got a lot of love back in the day, and it's just cool. Like we just got together and hit it off. But yeah, I tossed him that. I was like, yo, I think this could, use whatever you got, and he did a great job.
So throughout your career in recording, we've kind of talked about your collaborations versus your solo work, and how does that reflect your performances? Because I've seen you with bands, I've seen you solo, I've seen you in a duo setting. Do you, how do you decide what's most fulfilling for you about the different scenarios?
Well, when I'm looping, I have more control, and it's a more intimate show too. When I don't loop and I just do like a few acoustic, more singer-songwriter type songs, and then I can go into a loop and take it wherever I want to go. But it is limiting as well, being locked into that sort of grid of a loop. But that's why playing with different friends is always fun, to kind of bounce ideas off of and have more of a conversation. I try to switch it up a little bit, but these days I do play a lot of stuff like solo looping. But I usually have fun with it. It's a good time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, back in the day, Bill Muter and I'd just grab an accordion and he would grab his tuba, and we'd do let's just go do a weird show.
Yeah.
And we would both just go off, and I'd be screaming and getting all crazy, and we used to wear face paint sometimes. The Oddball Freak Tour.
I think we've both been through some face paint phases.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's fun to switch it up, you know.
Yeah.
Looking forward to getting into like some sort of cool, unique, acoustic duo type settings up in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So many musicians up there, and I see so many awesome, just locally talented artists. It's crazy up there.
So after Big Star, your most recent release is called One, the number one.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of was a return to more of a collaborative scenario. Is that right?
Yeah. That was Jamie Newitt from the Heavy Pets on drums, and Tom Kofter on bass, and Devin Heinrichs again played some sax on there. Bill Muter's actually on there. He played some tuba on a song, played some trombone on a song, and it's back to, I feel like, the closest album to Eccentricity.
Okay.
You know, where it's like very eclectic. We've got one that's like kind of a soulful R&B type song, and then you'll hear another one that's kind of sounds more indie folky sort of vibe. But yeah, there's one that's kind of, you know, it's like got kind of that like Brazilian vibe to it. But that was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like your song All As One. I think that's the closing track on the album.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And as I recall, that was kind of actually an older tune that you had written a while back, right?
A few years before, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember seeing just like an audio recording of it on YouTube with lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And was it inspired by a dream? Is that right?
Yeah. That song was in this dream I had. I was about to have a kid, and at this time in my life, I wasn't ready for a kid. Still not really ready, but
Still our kid, right?
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, I guess. But I had this dream, and I was the girl I was with was pregnant, and in the dream. And I was just kind of freaking out, really stressed out. And I just went to the beach to kind of wrap my head around this. And in this dream, I had the understanding, reached this like meditative state on the beach where I just had this understanding that my life is about to become this child, this being's life. And it was just this calm, centered feeling of, you know, of giving myself to this being and kind of, you know, it not being about me anymore. It's about this child that's about to come into this world. And I started singing this song. I felt beauty in the selflessness of giving. I heard sorrow in the songs of 1,000 merchant men. On the day I woke in the sun. And it was just like this. And those two lines... those two first lines, I just remember singing it I felt like the ocean was singing it with me. It was like this amazing vibe. And I woke up and I was like, wow, that was a beautiful song and like a beautiful moment. Man, that's great. And I was like, wait a second, I need to write that. Like, that's not, it's sometimes I wake up and I feel like these songs are, you know, like you're singing along to the radio in your dreams. So you're just like, no, that's already a song. Mm-hmm. You know, and you wake up feeling like that. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. Like, write that down. And I wrote the song in like 45 minutes, just poured out of me. And but the melody and those lyrics of those first two lines are verbatim, exactly how they were in the dream.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've had a song or two that kind of came out like that, where I woke up with a song in my head, and you know, same thing. Just kind of realized, wait, that's not a song I've heard before. You know, like that's something for me to write.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You got to catch them.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Your brain like kind of plays a trick on you, and you got to go,
So
I grabbed that one. Oh, I wrote another song like that too. The Doors off of One.
Okay.
The Doors.
Cool. It's
actually about, you know, like the metaphor of this girl walking through the door. It's kind of like the door to your heart, sort of like keep your heart open, but like we close it after we get burnt in a relationship or stuff. But like then we open it back up. It's kind of like opening and closing. It's called The Doors, but that's a double meaning for me because in this song, this kid was playing this gorgeous song. Like I was just like, whoa. And I was at this coffee shop, and it was like this younger kid, and I was like, what is that, man? And he's like, oh, it's by The Doors. And I was like, wow, I can't believe I've never heard that. I felt like I heard all that, every song of theirs. And then I woke up and I was like, that wasn't by The Doors. I was like, that was it. And then I stole that kid's song from that kid. But like, that's why I called it The Doors. Because it's kind of metaphorically, about doors. But The Doors, he said it was by The Doors and it totally wasn't. But
very interesting.
Yeah, my brain trying to trick me again into not taking the song.
Very cool. Yeah, so not actually about the doors of perception per se.
Yeah, no, it was just kind of a metaphor.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, I'm gonna recommend everybody check out Mike's latest album, One, available on iTunes, Spotify. You can check out Mike on Pandora. You can go to MikeMineo.com.
Yeah, I post shows on there and stuff. Also, I released a single after One called Pain. It's not about pain, but it's about easing your pain, and you should check it out if you wanna just vibe out for a little bit.
Yeah,
it's kind of a nice, mellow, soulful kind of track. Yeah, it's actually probably one of my favorite tracks that I've recorded, honestly.
And I've heard a really cool remix by Bedside out of Miami of that song Pain.
And we'll be releasing a single soon with those guys, MXB.
Cool.
Mineo. With Bedside. Called Get Off.
I had a really trippy moment at Suwannee Music Park where it was right after you had released that song Pain, and it was like, seemingly people were receiving it well, getting good response. And then I was at Suwannee, and Bedside was doing a set, and he opened up his set with his remix of your song Pain. And it was like a live band interpretation of the remix. So there was a lady singing. Faye,
cool.
I think Faye Nay from Flatland was singing on it. There was a couple other musicians, and I was just like out there dancing with my hula hoop, and all of a sudden I hear a Mike Mineo song playing at Suwannee, and I'm like, yo, Mineo's not here. What is going on? Very cool experience.
Nice.
So that's cool.
Awesome.
Cool to see some collaboration going on.
Yeah, those guys are great, man. I have a great time with them. Great dudes.
Is Pain going to be just a single, or is that going to be on your next full album?
Man, I don't know. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I think that might just be a single.
Yeah.
I kind of want to change the name to Let Me Be the One and like re-release it.
Got any want to give any hints as to like your next album project or anything underway?
Well, I'm signing with a label called Red 9 Records, and I've recorded about 14 to 15 songs, but we grabbed 6 of those and we're actually putting them all together to shop them to top producers. And right now we're just this next EP that I'm gonna work on is gonna be with a producer with some serious clout, and it's worked with some big time people, because this label that I'm signing with, Red 9 Records, they're gonna see that through and get the right producer for it. We're just in the process of it right now, so I'm not sure how long it will take, but probably by early next year I'll be releasing something.
Awesome, dude. I can't wait to see what comes next.
Yeah, me either. This is a new direction for me too, to take on like a serious producer. Yeah. See what happens.
All right. Well, I think it's about time to conclude the podcast. Do you want to take it out with another song?
Yeah.
All right. So
let's do Lucid, because you posted a video covering that song.
Yes, Lucid, one of my favorite songs of all time from Mike Mineo off of his album.
Oh, it is?
I would say so, man. When I first checked out Big Big Star and I heard Lucid, it just right off the bat I was just like, whoa, mind expansion, mind blown. Like, he's stepping up the game. This music is speaking to me.
Awesome.
So that's why I decided to learn that song and release my own version. So that would be really fun to do a little jam on it, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
I don't need to dream with my eyes closed, and I find no sense in following others' roads. The destination that nobody knows if it is right for your life and growth. 'Cause when you arrive, you will feel empty. If you forgot, it's all about the journey. So you see, you must trust when you wake. You're stronger in the lucidity of your state. So take a breath in the morning when you wake. Stop to realize and forever remain lucid in your waking day. No one can take your dreams away. Lucid in your waking day. No one can take your dreams away. So now view yourself, your image lies within yourself and no one else. Instead of see yourself as one with all and always be it what you know. Take time to arrange the possibilities that are big. When one door closes, another one opens. Ain't no shame in knowing how to play your game. When one door closes, another one opens. So now take a breath, realize it's all the dream through your eyes. Take a step through your day. Remain, remain, remain. Lucid in your waking day. No one can take your dreams away. Lucid in your waking day. No one can take your dreams away.